Hi, and welcome to CSCMP's Member Mondays. I'm your host, Timothy Pajak, and I'm the Membership Engagement Manager here at CSCMP. We're pleased to have a very special guest today. We have Elijah Ray, Chief Customer Officer at Sunland Logistics Solutions, and a member of the CSCMP Board of Directors. Elijah, welcome.
Thank you, Timothy. Good to be with you.
Elijah, you've dedicated over 35 years to the supply chain profession. I want to start by hearing how you first got involved with supply chain, and if you could, especially how you got involved with CSCMP.
Thank you. Look, I kind of got involved in supply chain by mistake, or I didn't know I was getting involved in a discipline that's so robust. And at the time, I was working in textiles, and a company called McCrory's Five and Dime built a very highly mechanized DC in Clinton, South Carolina, which is not far from where I grew up. And I ended up going to work for them as a receiving stocking supervisor. Of course, early in my career, I left there after a couple years, went to work for Walmart. And then it was after I joined Walmart that I realized that I was part of this, again, big profession called logistics and supply chain. And even more so after I left Walmart and went into 3PL. Again, kind of entered it by accident. And then it was a former boss who introduced me to CLM at the time, which of course has evolved now to CSCMP. And I was a young person who really was focused on growing, wanted to improve my communication skills, wanted to meet new people, and he knew that. And so he encouraged me to become part of CLM at the time.
Tell us a little bit about your service on the board of directors, especially with the future of the organization committee.
Yeah, so look, I want to start when I first was on the board back in the 90s and in the early 2000s. I was actually a board chair and really enjoyed my time. And I was on the board when we changed the name from CLM to CSCMP. Those were very exciting times for us. But then I circled off the board in 2004, 2005. And then I was asked to come back on the board a couple years ago by the board chair and to lead this committee called Organization of the Future. Whose mission and purpose is to help the organization with new membership models and really to expand the community, to really look at how do we really expand what we're doing to reach others in the supply chain and help a broader audience see and know who we are as a discipline. Some emphasis and focus on diversity and inclusion, and really to become more relevant and to what's going on in our world today as it relates to people and so forth.
And in terms of the supply chain community, there may be folks that are watching this interview who either are new members or thinking about becoming a member of CSCMP. What advice would you have for them on how they could maximize the value of a membership, or what reasons for joining if they're thinking about it?
Yeah, number one, I really do think of course, you don't have to be a member to be involved in roundtables, but I would suggest that anyone who wants to be engaged, become engaged with CSCMP, to get involved with the roundtable, get involved at that level, because there's a lot of education, there's a lot of networking there. But I would also suggest really taking advantage of the excellent annual conference that we have. It is by far one of the highest quality conferences, I would say, in the nation and probably in the world. I've attended several conferences of different types, and it is usually one of the best. The quality, the content, the speakers, and then of course the networking opportunity, the ability to meet different people and so forth. It's just outstanding, and is really, for me, I might have missed 2 conferences in 30 years, maybe. And that's because I really look forward to, as I mentioned, the content. I look forward to meeting people, friends I've had for many years. I look forward to meeting new people as well. And again, the educational content.
Over those 30 years, has there been any impactful connection that you've made or special moment that you can recall during those conferences?
Yeah, so look, probably one of my most impactful moments was, CSCMP has a what we call a Distinguished Service Award, and I recommended, and I did the write-up for an individual who's actually deceased now, and his name is Thomas Spay. He was professor of marketing at the University of Miami of Ohio, and I recommended him for that award, and he won it. That was by far one of the most special moments for me. Another special moment was when another great friend of mine, Robert Martichenko, won the award as well. But look, I've had so many great connections, so many great friends. If I were to speak to one of my most important connections, it would be a former boss who introduced me to CLM at the time. But I've met so many people, and I think it's so important that people bring so many different dynamics. That's why I mentioned the word community a few moments ago, because a community is made up of so many different people who come from all types of walks of life, many different backgrounds, and they bring their own perspectives. And so that's why it's so important to meet different people and hear what companies they work for, if they came out of receiving or shipping or HR or whatever discipline that they're in that really represents supply chain. It's always good to connect, get those perspectives. I like the idea that iron sharpens iron. And, when you go to a place to hopefully get sharpened, and perhaps as you look to get sharpened, maybe you sharpen someone else as well. And in the end, you end up with a lot of people who have been sharpened when they come together. And I think that's so important when networking takes place, and when there is a conference that has been put together for the purpose of education, and there are high quality speakers there who are intent on ensuring that the content is second to none. And the organization does just a tremendous job of pulling that annual conference off, which is so, again, so awesome. So I would say that they're just all the people that I've met over the years represent to me that community of people who have been special, frankly, to my own personal development and my success within CSCMP.
Elijah, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Appreciate your continued service with CSCMP and for joining us for Member Mondays.
Timothy, thank you so much for your time as well. Enjoyed being with you.